My 401k recently crossed $150,000, and in this video, I want to break down how long it took me to get there, how much of that was contributions versus growth through investments, and I want to talk a little bit about how long it might take me to get to my next milestone for this account, which is $250,000. As I was preparing for the video, I was pretty surprised by how quickly I was able to build up the account. I also went through a life event recently that is going to impact my ability to grow this account, but we'll cover that later on in the video. My goal for the video, as always, is to give you some insights and hopefully add some value so that you can grow your own net worth through investing. So to start off, in 2022, I started a new job relatively late in the year, so I didn't get a chance to contribute a whole lot, but I did have a 401k with a previous employer that I migrated over to the new employer. That amount that I rolled over was around $20,000, and through the end of the year, I contributed an additional $4,884.80, and my employer was able to match up to $1,562.50. Since this was towards the end of the year, there obviously wasn't a ton of growth for investments, but I did have a gain of $331.92, which brought my account to a total of $26,528.07 for 2022. 2023 was my first full year with this company, and I decided to implement a strategy that I think a lot of people should take advantage of, and that was the full employer match. And with this match, I was able to contribute $10,058.79, and my employer contributed the exact same amount to my account. So the total contributions to the account were a little over $20,000, and the account grew by $5,550 from gains on my investments. And throughout those first 2 years, I wanted to keep everything as simple as possible, so I just put 100% of my contributions into the S&P 500, specifically the Fidelity 500 Index Fund, which is ticker FXAIX. So by the end of 2023, this brought my account to $56,060.56, which is a really nice number to look at. It's almost the same forwards as backwards. And in total, my account was growing at around $5,000 to $6,000 per year. Now going into 2024, I had decided to set a pretty ambitious goal for myself, which was to try and max out my 401k contribution, which for that year was about $23,000. I wasn't able to quite get there, but I did contribute $21,939.65, and this was obviously over and above what my employer was willing to match, but they maxed out their match at $14,850.33. As you could imagine, with all of these extra contributions, the growth of my account really started to take off. So for 2024, I had a gain of $13,162.05, which brought my account to a total of $106,012.59. Now, about halfway through 2024, I did change up my investments, so I moved away from 100% in the Fidelity 500 Index Fund, and I moved towards a more 60-40 portfolio split between stocks and bonds. The reason I did this is because at the time I had felt that the run-up in US equities specifically was a little bit overdone, and I wanted to get more exposure to other asset classes, including international stocks, as well as a few different types of fixed income investments. As you know, the stock market has continued going up since then, but there has been quite a bit of volatility, especially in 2025, so I certainly don't have any regrets with adding a little bit of fixed income to my portfolio. So moving on to 2025, I tried to set that same goal for myself of maxing out the employee contribution in my 401k, and in total for this year, I've been able to contribute $18,540.28, and my employer was able to match $13,118.23. With those contributions, my portfolio grew $14,546.26 from investment gains, which brought me to my current total of $152,217.36. So in total, over the last 3 years, I've been able to contribute $55,423.52. My employer contributed $39,589.85, and in total, my investments grew $33,590.23. Okay, so that is the full history and all of the numbers behind my 401k. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the pros and cons of contributing to one. Specifically, I want to address one of the biggest criticisms, which is that you're stashing away a lot of money, which is reducing your liquidity, so you're not able to do as much with with that money, and it's locked up until you're 65 years old. In my opinion, this really comes down to opportunity cost, because it's not just that I contributed $55,000 over a 3-year period to my 401k, but with that $55,000, I also got around $40,000 in additional value from my employer. And with those contributions combined, I also got over $33,000 in investment gains. And this means that I really have two options. On the one hand, I can keep that money in my bank account and be able to spend it on material things or experiences, or I could put that money in my 401k, and instead of having $55,000, I get an additional $70,000 or more in value. Now, mind you, if I knew with 100% certainty that I could do something with that $55,000 that would guarantee me a return of $73,000 over 3 years, I would definitely consider doing that instead of the 401k. Of course, that would have to also come with the tax benefits of a 401k, but I couldn't come up with anything that would guarantee me that kind of return, so I decided to just look up what I could have spent that money on instead. For $55,000, I could have bought 2 Rolex GMT Master Pepsis. And while I see the appeal and would love to own a nice watch one day, I am perfectly happy with my Apple Watch here. On the other hand, I could buy this 1987 Porsche 911 Targa with over 270,000 miles, which would probably be pretty fun to drive around in, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I drive around 5,000 miles a year, so I don't really need this car right now. Honestly, what's probably more realistic is I just found out you can clone one of your pets for $50,000. The only problem here is that I've got 2 dogs and I can't bring myself to make a copy of just one of them, so unfortunately, this is going to be out of my budget. Now, there may be some people watching this who truly believe they would get more value by keeping this money in their own account instead of contributing to their 401k. But for my scenario here, sacrificing the $73,000 of both employer contribution and investment gain is too much of a sacrifice that I'm not willing to make. So now let's talk about what the future growth of an account like this looks like going forward. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, I did go through a big life event recently, and to put it short, I was laid off.
You're fired.
Fortunately, I am in a position where this isn't putting me and my family in survival mode, and I'm actually taking this time to spend a little bit more time with family as well as our new 4-month-old daughter, as well as making content here on YouTube to try and help others build their net worth through investing and ultimately reach financial freedom. So if you're interested, please consider subscribing or just liking the video. It really helps me a lot, and we are very close to 1,000 subscribers. All right, so let's talk about what happens next, because as you may already know, 401k plans are sponsored by employers, and once you're no longer with that employer, you can no longer contribute to that 401k. Luckily, it is relatively straightforward to roll those funds over into an IRA, which is an individual retirement account. However, the contribution limits are a lot lower. In 2026, you can only contribute $7,500 to an IRA, compared to a 401k, which you can contribute $24,500 to. So that means that I'm not going to be able to contribute to this account as aggressively moving forward. Luckily, since I am over the $100,000 mark, compound interest is going to really help this account keep growing. In fact, if I were to stop contributing to this account entirely and my investments grew around 7% per year, then I would be able to hit the $250,000 milestone in about 6 years. If I do contribute just $7,500 per year, however, I could cut that down to 4 years. Ultimately, I will keep contributing to this account because my goal is to grow it as much as possible before I reach retirement age. And it's also just one piece of my overall portfolio because I don't want to rely on one thing to get me to retirement, whether it's Social Security or a 401k account. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and at least got a little bit of value from it. If you have any questions related to the video or 401ks or anything in general, feel free to leave it down in the comments. I'll respond to every single one. And of course, if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe below, and I will see you in the next video.